Do I have to wait till it? So welcome everyone to the council meeting for Monday, October 23rd. We're going to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. As usual, we'll start our meeting with a safety share, and it's going to be Councillor Wisnick, who tells us about Halloween safety.
Okay, so for Halloween, just make sure that when you're walking, that you make sure you look left and right, and be aware of cars backing up and driving in general. Always make sure that you're on the sidewalk and not constantly crossing the street, just for safety reasons. And children that are under the age of 12, make sure that they're supervised by an adult while out. And kids that are older, just be aware of the safety rules in regards to that. And when it comes to your costumes, try and avoid having masks that impair your vision. So instead of wearing a mask that is hard to see through, try using face paint. And try using glow sticks just so that drivers can see you better. And for driving, just be aware that there are kids out, and some of them might go across the street to go to different houses.
Thank you, Councillor Wisnick. Certainly the other thing I might say about Halloween is I think we're doing trick or eat again this year, so it's not just about giving out candy, but remember that there will be people coming around to collect canned goods. Safety share being done, I'd like to ask if there are any additions or deletions to the agenda.
Student council report.
Student council report is under 7A. Any others? If not, then I have a motion that council hereby accepts the agenda for Monday, October 23rd, 2017, regular meeting of council as circulated or amended. Moved by, I guess I don't really need to look as long as hands go up. We're just going to go back and forth. All in favor? We're carried. Any questions in regards to the agenda? Okay. Disclosures of interest. Are there any disclosures of interest this evening?
I have none.
Hearing none. Second motion that the council hereby adopts the minutes of regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, October 10th, 2017 as circulated or amended. Moved by Councillor Fox, seconded by Councillor Shingra. Any questions of those minutes?
No.
All in favor? We are carried. Our next report then goes right to student council report. I think we have a report from both Councillor Wisnick and Councillor Stone. Who would like to go first?
Start off.
Councillor Stone, the floor is yours.
So,
Councillor Stone, could you put on your microphone?
Yep,
Thanks.
thank you. This past weekend we had the haunted hallway at our school. We raised over $1,000 for the travel club. So that'll help out with getting us there and stuff like that. Tomorrow our high school sports teams will be playing in Manitouwadge, so wish them best of luck. Our school is also starting a drama club. I believe it's at lunch at 11:40, and we are also starting a robotics club where we build a robot and compete in Toronto. If you want to know more about the robotics club, talk to Mr. Roner. If you want to know more about the drama club, talk to I believe Daryl Levesque, the student. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. And I got to say, I think the haunted hallway was really well done, and I know lots of folks from town went, and it was really well received. So congratulations on raising that money.
Thank you.
Councillor Wisnick.
Okay, so from the student council, we're doing a dance this Thursday, a Halloween dance. So yeah, and student senate is with our school board. So the school board is looking for students to be involved in that, and the student senate is an opportunity for students to speak with the director of education about issues within the school and how we can help to make the school better and more welcoming to all of our students. That's my report.
And don't be shy, Councillor Wisnick. Who sits on the Student Senate for Marathon High School for the last few years?
I have for about 4 years.
But they're looking for more, right?
Yeah, they need more people to be involved because after I'm gone, they need more people.
Great. Well, thank you, student councillors. Our next report is an administration report on the Emergency Management Program and Emergency Response Plan, Bylaw number 1914. Rick Herster reporting.
Good evening, Your Worship. Subject this evening is the Emergency Management Program and Emergency Response Plan, Bylaw 1914. The Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act and its supporting regulation, Ontario Regulation 380//04, provides a number of requirements for both ministries and municipalities within the province of Ontario. These requirements present sweeping changes to emergency management in Ontario. Attached is the current compliance guide for 2017, which explains the updated requirements for municipalities and all municipalities in Ontario. One of the new requirements of the EMCA is that municipalities must adopt a new bylaw detailing their yearly test and training response plan. The bylaw must also detail their management plan as well. In addition, the EMCA now states that the annual required training for the control group must be no less than 4 hours in duration. This would be over and above the test of the plan which accompanies the training. Also, an emergency management program committee must be established whose responsibility is to assist in the development and advise municipal council on the development and implementation of the municipal emergency management program. Financial implications: any costs associated with the administration of the town's emergency plan has been provided for in the annual operating budget. No direct costs have been incurred with this change. Options: option A, approve Bylaw 1914, thereby repealing Bylaw 1360 as presented. Or option B, request administration make changes to Bylaw 1914. Your administration recommends that option A be selected and that Bylaw 1914 be adopted and passed. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Kerster. I have a motion here that Council hereby accepts the attached report and recommendation on the Emergency Management Program and Emergency Response Plan, Bylaw number 1914, and further that the appropriate bylaw be presented adopting an Emergency Management Program and Emergency Response Plan to meet requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act. Moved by Councillor Gingras, seconded by Councillor Fox. We're on the floor then. Carried.
Rick, is this the emergency, put the glasses back on, management program? The emergency group, is that the one that consists of yourself, the chief of police, and, well, the mayor, and there was one other, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Your Worship. It's the basically it's the Emergency Operations Control Group is what you're referring to, and now they're putting in a couple of different new terms and terminology for that. But also now it creates a new group, which is essentially the same group of people, the management committee, which forms another layer of administrative needs that has to be done on an ongoing basis. Normally the control group would only meet once a year during the test and training, or if the plan has been activated. The committee, the newer one that's being created through the Bylaw 1914 and through the changes to the Act, require separate meetings throughout the year to review the plan, to make changes, make reports to council as required, and kind of be an oversight committee for basically themselves. However, in other municipalities it can be a completely different group of people. So in our particular instance, it tends to be just the same group of people.
Just to follow up, might I ask that when you do have one of those meetings again, that all of council is invited? And the only reason I say that, it's fine having the mayor as a representation, but if the mayor's not in town, it falls on the deputy, or it's going to fall, if the deputy's not in town, it's going to fall to somebody else. I think it's a good thing for all council just to sit in on that one meeting to find out. I'm sure there's people on council that don't know the direction it's going to head. You're going to head it up, directions to the police are going to look after a certain area, and the mayor is there for guidance to the province. So,
and yeah, certainly to answer Councillor Fox's question, absolutely. Remembering that my role as the Community Emergency Management Coordinator, or CEMC, is to simply, as you call, a peacetime controller for the group. In time of when it's actually activated, it's the mayor and the CAO of the day that actually control the operations, and the CEMC steps back and is more of an oversight, offering advice and guidance as it comes through. Certainly, it's one of the reasons why a lot of communities now in the province of Ontario are withdrawing the CEMC's role from the fire service or any emergency service, because they're going to be invested in other programs and other things that are going on in the event of an emergency. So to have to take that person away, even on an oversight basis, they're finding it very, very difficult with manpower and being strained and resources being strained. So in the future, you can probably see that coming down as well. But certainly to have the other members of council for this year, absolutely. We can make sure that all that information's out for sure,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? And I think too, Rick, just thinking about what we've seen in the news this year with climate change leading to all kinds of sort of natural disasters, you begin to see how more and more we need emergency plans in place. You think of places like Houston or Florida. I mean, we're not going to experience those kind of storms, but it sounds like the way things are going to go is we're going to see that storm of the century every 10 years. So.
And certainly there are, through our hazard identification risk assessment that's been done, we have identified some significant issues, perhaps not necessarily in a natural or man-made, but the biggest one, of course, that we have as a concern is one way in, one way out. Yeah. And it doesn't take a natural disaster. All it takes is a motor vehicle collision of a significant event. And of course, if it happens past the Old Heron Bay Road turnoff, then we're truly in a situation, or between that road and say in and around the cemetery area, then yes, we would be isolated. Yeah,
I think that's excellent. If there are no other questions, I'd call the question. All in favor of bylaw? In favor. Thank you, Rick. I have a motion to approve the check run for September 2017, which is presented. Accounts payable for $600,000. Okay. I will do that one. We missed that one. That's okay. I'll just read the motion. The council hereby accept the attached report and recommendation on surplus land declaration, and further that the properties located at 10 Coveney Street and 12 Industrial Court be declared surplus to the requirements of the municipality. Presented by Rick Kirster.
On April 25th in 2016, Council passed motion number 70, whereby the property located at 10 Coveney Street was vested in the municipality's name as a consequence of a recent unsuccessful tax sale. In addition, there is a 1.33 acre lot at 12 Industrial Court that's been in the ownership of the municipality since the industrial park was established in the 1980s. As the properties have been vested in the municipality's names, Council has the option of selling the properties. Bylaw 1617 outlines the policies with respect to the sale and other disposition of the lands, including declaring the property surplus to the requirement of the municipality. According to the bylaw, the clerk shall be responsible for obtaining one or more independent appraisal prior to consideration by council of a motion to sell the property, except in such case where an appraisal, in the opinion of the clerk, is not necessary or advisable in the circumstances. Administration is recommending that an appraisal is not necessary in the case of 10 Coveney. This is a derelict mobile home situated on the lot. An appraisal would be time-consuming and expensive. That wouldn't likely result in any additional information regarding resaleability that we are not already aware of. but for the property at 12 Industrial Court, in May 2016, an industrial appraisal was conducted. The financial and other implications, including minimum purchase price, condition of sale, and etc., should be discussed in an in-camera meeting scheduled immediately following this regular meeting of council. So the options are to declare the properties at 10 Coveney and 12 Industrial Court as surplus to the requirements of the municipality with the attached resolution, or do not declare the properties as surplus and investigate other options for the disposal of the property. Administration is recommending that option A be selected and that the town of Marathon declare the two properties located at 10 Coveney and 12 Industrial Court as surplus to the requirements of the municipality, as recommended with the attached motion, and further that council convene to an in-camera meeting to discuss the terms and condition of sale.
Okay, I think, did I get a mover and seconder? I don't think I did I? So in order to put it on the floor, I'll get a mover and a seconder. So Councillor Fox, Councillor Gingras. Now that we're on the floor, anybody with questions?
No.
I don't really have any either.
Okay.
But to clarify, the terms will get discussed at the in-camera meeting following this meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Good, then all in favor?
Yes.
We are carried. Now we're into the check run. So I have a check run that the following check runs be approved for payment: accounts payable of $600,822,000 and payroll of $156,961. Moved by Fox, seconded by Gingras. Any questions of that check run?
No.
All in favor? It's carried. And finally, we have a motion that bylaw number 1914, being a bylaw to adopt an emergency management program and emergency response plan and to meet other requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, be read a first and second time this 23rd day of October. Moved by Gingras, seconded by Councillor Fox. Any questions of those bylaws?
Just a quick statement. The group that's involved with that, I've been through the meeting myself, to assure the public that, yes, we have no idea what kind of emergency that could happen. However, we've gone over a lot of scenarios over the years, and each and every one of those emergency practices that we go through will be able to put to use at a given time that it is necessary. I know the one that I went through, I got an awful lot out of it, and there's a lot of stuff that we as the public just don't think about until you're involved with it, and our emergency response team does a wonderful job, and they are prepared for an awful lot of different types of emergencies.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Thank you for that.
And I think you hit the nail on the head too, Rick, in that we are very isolated, and lots of communities down south have neighbors that they can count on, and you're a good hour from any backup. So certainly in an emergency you are, and our workers are certainly on their own to a big extent. So thank you for the comment, Councillor Fox. I'll go all in favor of that second reading?
Yep.
Okay. Carried. And finally, that bylaw number 1914 be read a third and final time this and passed this 23rd day of October 2017. Moved by Councillor Fox, seconded by Councillor Gingras. All in favor of the third reading? We are carried. Next, under new business, we have information has been received from the Thunder Bay District Municipal League regarding upcoming elections of Board of Directors. And so here is a motion that Council hereby supports the nomination of Rick Dumas to the Thunder Bay District Municipal League Board of Directors for the 2017 to 2019 term. To put on the floor, moved by Councillor Gingras, seconded by Councillor Fox. Any questions of that motion?
No.
No questions. I'll make a comment on this one. And certainly I think lots of us know that Mayor Dumas sits in this chair, and the time that he puts in outside of this council, I think, benefits all of us. I think we certainly watch that when we go down to Toronto and do our meetings at NOMA or at AMO. Everybody knows Rick and his mustache. He always asks a question at every meeting, and I think he's really furthered the community and the stature of the community. So certainly I'm very excited that he's going to take on this role and kind of continue to push Marathon as a progressive community. So he's not here to say thank you to, so I'll say it in public. Thank you, Mayor Dumas, for taking this on. All in favor? That's carried. I don't think we set the record, but that's pretty close. That's 21 minutes. So I have a final motion that we adjourn at the hour of, do I need to do the...
No, just a minute.
Oh.
If it would please your worship, just under announcements, I'd like to remind the public that tomorrow evening, the 24th of October, the Marathon Fire Department is holding a recruiting open house at the Fire Hall, 7 p.m. Men and women 18 years of age or older, or for our cadet program, 16 to 18 years of age. Men and women, come on out, see what we have to show, see what you can offer to your community and traveling public, and what we can offer you as well. It's a valuable service group within town, and we'd be more than happy to show you what we can offer you and what you can bring to the table as well. 7 o'clock at the Fire Hall.
I've had a few students who have been through the cadet program, and I know there's probably lots of young folks who might be interested. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit on
the cadet program is an alternative we put in place in memory of Councillor Pascoe, Dustin Pascoe, who passed away a few years ago. It was he was the first person that kind of pushed it forward before and after he was a member of council, and we kind of looked at what's out there for the youth here in the municipality. Certainly we have a great Air Cadet Corps, but that was really about it at that time, and certainly since then. So we're offering the Fire Department Cadet Program. Training is identical. You can speak to anybody that went through the cadet program. You learn side by side with the regular members of the department. You do the same training, the same kit. You get the same certificates at the end. You have the same training opportunities inside the department and outside the department. And at the end, you get your NFPA 1001 Firefighter Level 1 certification. And with your parents' permission, you can come on down and join. When you turn 18 is when we call it badging over. You go from your red T-shirt to your blue T-shirt and become a regular member of the department, and can do everything on live calls that the other firefighters do and have been doing, except you'll be trained and ready to go the day you turn 18. So certainly a great opportunity.
That's great.
Rick, is there a certain number that you...
Right now, we're for our regular membership, we can take 6 more people. Cadets, because they're not part of our entitlement, we can take as many people as they show up. So as many cadets as we want, we've had up as 4 and 5 cadets. Okay. And tomorrow evening, come out at 7 o'clock. Regular members or cadets, we'll explain there is a time commitment, and it's important to understand that time commitment and be aware of it before you decide you want to move forward. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it is a pretty exciting way to serve your community and to give back to the community and to keep the rest of us safe. So it's pretty exciting, and I hope you get lots of folks out again at the Fire Hall, 7 o'clock tomorrow.
7 o'clock tomorrow evening.
That's great.
Thank you.
Before I adjourn, thank you, Ms. Lees, I would like to announce that we're going to go into a closed meeting to discuss a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality. And with that announcement, I can now call the meeting to an adjournment at the hour of 7:24. Moved by Councillor Fox, seconded by Councillor Gingras. All in favor? Then I bid you good evening.